Novatech FX, the platform that automates day trading for you and boasts an average weekly return of 3%, is creating multi-millionaires out of middle-class citizens seemingly overnight. And for many investors, Novatech is a life-changing opportunity that will help them leave their 9-to-5 and become the online money-making gurus they've always dreamed of becoming. The premise of the platform is that you simply make your investment and Novatech's bots and professional traders will trade your capital for you in the Forex and crypto markets. Since their startup date back in 2019, they've never reported a loss on their weekly returns. And had you invested back then, your capital would have compounded by an average of 3% every single week. To put that in perspective, if you had made a measly $500 investment back then, you'd be sitting at a whopping $108,478 by now. Which makes me feel just as sad as I feel for selling an entire Bitcoin for $7,000 back in 2017. While there's no way to know for sure that this company is a pyramid scheme, and arguments can be made all day on both sides of the table whether it is or it isn't, the only people that know for sure right now are the founders, Cynthia and Eddie Petian. What we do know is that they received a desist and refrain order from the state of California, November 22nd of 2022, which basically calls for the immediate stop of all business conducted by Novatech in California. There's a lot of really interesting points made in this document, and I highly recommend reading through it on your own time if you are interested in making an investment in this company. One of the points made in this document, Novatech is described as a high-yield investment program, which is an unregistered investment typically run by unlicensed individuals and is often a scam. They offer returns higher than 100% per year at little to no risks to the investor, and also offer lucrative referral bonuses, which typically leads to the investor encouraging their family and friends to invest as well. Novatech has also received warnings from Russia, British Columbia, Alberta, and Ontario. And in my opinion, Novatech has not demonstrated sufficient proof that they have traders on staff are making consistent trades that justify the weekly returns that they're making. And as much as I want to believe that this is a legitimate company where I could double my capital in 6 months, it does share a lot of similarities to a pyramid scheme and has been under a ton of scrutiny from government agencies across the globe. In this video, I'll be sharing how I exploited this platform for some quick 3% gains. I'll be going over some more research I've done about the company so that you can have all the information and decide whether or not you want to invest. And lastly, I'll be sharing some notes from a recent conversation I had with someone who's been investing with Novatech for 5 months and is considered my upline in the company. So here's my original plan. Invest $500, let it compound for 6 months and have my money double. By then, I should be able to take out my initial investment and just be able to play with house money. Easy peasy, right? The good thing about this company, and the reason why I think so many people enjoy using the platform, is because it's extremely easy to set up and the payouts are completely passive. You simply go to NovatechFX.com and select Get Started. From there, you fill out all the necessary fields and register your account. And then you're prompted with a few different investment packages for you to get started with. You can invest as little as $99 to as high as $25,000 or more. Novatech does charge a $25 monthly management fee, so it doesn't make a ton of sense to invest less than $500 since your weekly ROI would be negated by that management fee. Once you've decided how much you would like to invest, you then transfer crypto from your wallet to the address that they provide. And that's pretty much it. You're off to the races and you can anticipate weekly returns on average of 3%. My first week being on Novatech, I received a payout of $12.75, which I then set up so that it'd be automatically reinvested into my trading account. That way it would compound on top of itself. In my second week, I received $14.87. My third week, I received $14.14. On my fourth week, I received $11.59. And on my fifth and final week, I received $14.42. After deducting the $25 management fee that Novatech charges, my total return was $42.77. That's an 8.5% return in just 5 weeks. So you can see how that would compound on top of itself quite quickly if you just let it sit in there for just a couple of months. Now, full transparency, I have requested to receive my funds from Novatech back on December 21st. And as of filming this on January 11th, I have yet to receive my funds. I have heard that thanks to the holidays and the volume of withdrawals happening because of the desist and refrain order, that you can't expect to wait a few days longer than their standard 7 to 14 business days. Additionally, because I decided to withdraw my money before waiting 90 days, I was told that my withdrawal could be subject to a 15% early processing fee. So time will only tell if this investment is in the green or the red. However, I will give credit where credit is due. Based on the research that I've done and the people that I've talked to, there is yet to be a single person that has not received their funds after requesting it from Novatech. So if this is a pyramid scheme, at least they have a solid track record for 3 years of paying people out when they withdraw their money. So say what you want about me, I guess I just don't have diamond hands like I used to. My reasoning for my early exit from Novatech is based on the research that I've done about the founders of the company, as well as reading through the desist and refrain order. Many of the arguments that I found that are defending Novatech are very opinionated and aren't based off real facts or evidence. It seems like the reasons that they use to defend themselves about it not being a pyramid scheme are just made up at the top of the pyramid and then trickle their way down through word of mouth. It's almost like playing a game of telephone when we were kids. And in my opinion, I feel that this company could easily prove its legitimacy by being more transparent about who's on their staff and the trades that they're making. But as of right now, the only people that we know for sure are involved with this company are Cynthia, Eddie, and Cynthia's brother. And the only evidence we have about the trades they're making are either people saying that they've seen the trades they're making, or Cynthia briefly sharing a presentation which showed the volume of trades they're making. And in my opinion, I think it could have been easily faked. In my last video about Novatech, I took more of a stance against this company, and if you're interested in watching that video, I'll leave a link to it in the description below. However, since uploading that video, I've done about a dozen hours of research on this company, and the results of that research are somewhat inconclusive. It's just impossible for me to say whether the company is legit or not. I like to base my opinions off of factual information, and there's simply not enough information out there to prove 100% one way or the other. However, to me, the desist and refrain order, along with Cynthia Petian's affiliation with AWS Mining, which was a Ponzi scheme that crashed and burned just a few months prior to Novatech being started, as well as the lack of supporting evidence on the pro-Novatech side, it was just enough to me to convince me that I didn't want the smoke with this investment any longer. With all that being said, I still wanted to keep an open mind about Novatech. So I decided to have a lengthy conversation with the person that recruited me into the company and has also been investing with them for over 5 months now. And she was able to shed some light on her perspective about Novatech, and she made some very valid points, which I felt were necessary to share in this video. Her take on it is that the company has had a solid track record for over 3 years now, that the rewards outweigh the risks in her opinion, that it is possible for day traders to make at least 3% returns a week or even much more than that. And the fact that even if the company was regulated by the government, it still would not guarantee that this company was not a pyramid scheme. I mean, if we take a look at what happened with FTX recently, or Enron, or Bernie Madoff's company, these were all companies that were regulated by the government and still collapsed due to Ponzi scheme mechanics and or a mismanagement of funds. And overall, her opinion is that this is still a very risky investment and it should be treated with caution. So who's to say whether or not Novatech is a pyramid scheme? And of course, none of this is investment advice, but I think there's valid arguments being made on both sides of the story. And really, there's just not enough evidence out there to 100% for sure say that it is or it isn't. I think what it really comes down to is just doing your own research, not investing more than you can afford to lose, understanding that your investment could turn to $0, and taking advantage of opportunities if you determine it's worth it to you. With all that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, do your boy a favor and subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and comment down below ways you think I can improve my content. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in a couple of weeks.